Hello, are you be able to connect? Hello. I can hear the background now. Okay, there's one. Okay, any plan for the token holder reward? Okay, so right now, as in the roadmap, right now we are focusing on working on the integrations with Trip and Agoda system. So we'll be able to use the TriipMiles token to pay for accommodations in 229 countries. So after that, we will focusing on the global ticks, which will allow us to be able to use the TriipMiles token to pay for tour activity. So imagine you'll be able to book the New York Road Empires, to be able to book for like Singapore Zoo or any other attractions in 100 countries. And after we're focusing on finishing these two important integrations, then we will start to build on our DeFi features for our user. So definitely, we already have a program called the Patrons, where you'll be able to stake your TriipMiles to earn rewards. So this is what we are planning to do. Okay, any other questions from the community? Okay, we have another questions relating to the current distribution of the TriipMiles token. Well, as you can see, is that we already shares our key roadmap and why and what happened on the day of the distribution system. First, we were attacked by thousands of spam requests. We'll be able to process the spam request. Our system was a little bit overloaded. And while we try to handle this traffic, our system try to scale an extra server to handle this. Because of this, we duplicate one of our server that make the broadcasting network. Therefore, if somebody requests like to send out 1,000 TriipMiles, it's become 2,000. And we quickly saw this challenge, and that's why we immediately paused the withdrawal system. And we want to make sure that nobody else get into this jam. So it took us about 48 hours to really come down to investigate and trying to make sure that we be able to stop on the track. And that's why it took some time. So yes, it is a mistake. It's a very embarrassing mistake, but for us, this is the only way that we'll be able to learn to test our system. Blockchain system is very different from the traditional platform where you only have one single server. So you send a request, the server handle, and then from the server, it passes to the client, which is the mobile phone. But for the blockchain system, you send one request, and that request will be sent broadcast to the Tomo chain network, which have 150 random server across the world. So every time we withdraw something, it will be able to broadcast from one machine to another machine, to another machine across the world. And that's why every time there is a system jam, which means one broadcast system stuck, it will delay the whole sequence. And that's why building a blockchain application is way harder than traditional applications. If we don't use blockchain but a traditional database system, we won't have all of this kind of issue. And it's the same. It in the same way how we present a Bitcoin or Ethereum. Every time you send something, it has to send through on server across the world, and this makes our system vulnerable to attack or spam. And that's why a simple task like withdraw TIIM send to BK token has created so much challenge to us. But the good news is, because normally you will not see this kind of challenge in other system, but suddenly in the first day we got interest by like 100,000 of requests, which means people believe somehow that TriipMiles tokens is a valuable system, and they want to use their resource to be able to testing our resource. And thanks to our engineering team, we will be able to handle the attacks. We'll be able to stop them, and then we'll be able to mitigate the attack. And right now, as you can see, we learn a lot from the lessons where we slowly go back to make sure that we'll be able to improve the system one by one. Okay, that's another question that due to the effect of the lockdown policies, how long does it take to recover on demand of travel, same accommodation, and fly as well? Well, this is a great question. Thank you. So right now, I would like to share that I'm also a board member of the Pacific Asia Travel Associations, and at the PATA, we do a lot of intense research together with the United Nations World Travel Organizations. We estimate that it will take 3 more years for international travel to get back. 3 more years, which means you would not be able to fly to other countries as freely as you planned in the past. And even if you are allowed to fly, you still have to go through a very long process, getting through the immigrations, get checks for the virus before you land. And most of the international travel will focus on business travel first. For leisure, it will take much longer time. So right now, every country is focusing on the domestic market. So for example, in Vietnam, we have 100 million people populations, and we are virus free for the last 95 days. And domestic travel has become normal, and people are going and doing and traveling as if there's nothing happened. For other countries like Taiwan, people are also focusing on domestic travel. So for us, that's why we believe that one of the features that we launched during the lockdown is the stay home hero feature. So as Trip, right, it's different from every other travel platform. For other travel platform, if people don't travel, which means there's no income, there's nothing going on. But for Trip, even you don't travel, we still be able to process your future travel plan or also your past travel history. And this is also something we would like to share, that with the new global tech integrations, users are not only be able to book travel package, but they be able to buy dinner vouchers in the city. So there's a lot of other tour company, they are using our system, so they can issue for example, if you have like dinner in a luxury restaurant or a normal restaurant or even a coffee shop, they can issue a voucher on the Trip platform, so that you'll be able to use to buy that voucher and go and have a cup of coffees or having a dinner in a favorite restaurant inside the city. So this is something we already see that people are using our platform and try to change into this way. And this feature will be able to launch in October. So for us, travel is just a starting point. In the end, we want to move to lifestyle to collect more data from the user, and user will be able to share more data to us. Okay. Another question is, if the travel industry does not recover as the expectation, what will Trip take to be profitable? Okay, for Trip, we have 3 ways of making profit. The first one is through the data, which we are focusing on. So right now, we will be able to match people who have needs. For example, I want to have a dinner tonight, and we'll be able to match the user to someone or another restaurant to offer a great voucher. And we also be able to see that even though the travel industry is not recover as a whole world, it did not recover in 229 countries, but it's only recover in different countries. And the longer the lockdown takes place, the more the desire of the people who want to travel. Take example for Vietnam. We end the lockdown 95 days ago. And right now, even after like the first day of the lockdown, the sales of all the hotel bookings, of all the tour package is going up back again. So right now for us, every month we still process about 100 to 200 booking. And that's why for us, we don't focus on a single country. We don't focus on Vietnam, we don't focus on Singapore. But we have a market of 229 countries where we be able to move in different place. If this place locked down, okay, we'll be able to do business somewhere else. And like I say, the more people wait, the more they get travel. And this is the perfect time for Trip to become the world leader in terms of travel platform. Because for a traditional non-blockchain travel platform like Agoda, like Airbnb, like Klook, like Viator, the only way for them to make profit is through the booking. And right now, it's very hard for them to make profit because for hotel supply, for tour operator, they try to find different way to distribute their product. And right now, actually, we are talking to 10,000 tour operator in North America that they are gonna use our tour operator software and list their tour on Trip. Why? For other OTA, when you list a tour, it takes 20 to 30% commissions. So for example, if a tour is $100, which means the tour operator have to pay $20 for the platform. But for Trip, what we're gonna do is we only take 2%. And that's why when we able to launch our platform, our integration is done in October, we become the world's best travel platform, which only charges 2%. So I would like to repeat again, 2%. And how do we survive with 2%? With 2%, the only way to survive is for people be able to book to TriipMiles, that will be able to mitigate from all the costs for credit card processing and all of other costs. And that's why we believe that we are in the right positions to thrive after the COVID. Okay. Any plan to improve the speed of transactions? It's quite slow now. Okay, so right now, right, as you can see, our system have been running live since January 2019, which means from January 2019, every time you spin the lucky wheel, every time you receive your token by referring your friend, you receive that token instantly. So right now, the speed of the Trip platform is 2 seconds per transactions. But I think what you mean by the speed of transaction mean be able to withdraw from the Trip app to the BK exchange. So I have to make a very clear clarifications that this is not because of the speed of the system. This is because we have thousands and thousands of spammers trying to spam the system, and we have to deliberately make this whole thing slow so that we'll be able to handle the attack and also to be able to make sure we verify each different transaction, whether it's real or not. We do have one mistake that we make in the past where when we do the KYC. So a lot of you have done the KYC. If you've done the KYCs after April, you have to take a photo and hold a piece of paper writing trips and the date. But if you do our KYC before April, we don't ask user to write down the date and the time on the piece of paper. And that's why there were so many accounts that trying to exploit these things that we done in April, and they'll be able to pass the KYC. They have a very sophisticated system that be able to generate like 100 different thousand of KYC that it look like real human. Okay, you have the TriipMiles token on Bkey. Do you have any plan to work with them about staking on Bkey platform? Okay, I will answer this question live. Yes, I think right now Bkey does have a staking features on Bkey platform, and for us, we want to work with Bkey for a long term. That's why we have a commitment that in the next 3 months, from July, August, September, we will only list on Bkey that we want to explore a different way. And I would like to share that Bkey platform is really supporting TriipMiles, not just about all of these features like staking, but for the media broadcasting that Bkey is helping TriipMiles to promote in the China market. As you can see that we don't have a Chinese speaking audience on the Telegram. We don't have a Chinese speaking staff. So thanks to Bkey, they're helping us to really grow to a new market where we don't have in the past. So definitely we would love to have a features to do the staking on TriipMiles token on Bkey platform. But also this is something we would like to talk to the Bkey team. And if it's happening, you will be the first to know. Okay, any plan to increase the maximum of withdrawal? So right now, we need time to improve our system. So definitely we would want to increase the maximum of withdrawal. In October, it's a time for us to open for an additional exchange listing. So right now we are looking at, for example, a decentralized exchange like the Tomo decentralized exchange. So when we integrate with a decentralized exchange, you will be able to withdraw like immediately whatever amount that you want to withdraw. So right now for us, the reason why we have like a maximum of withdrawal is so that we'll be able to control. So imagine on the day we're listing 10th of July, if we don't limit 2,500 TriipMiles token, and we start to do at about, people can withdraw as many as they want. So people are withdrawing like, for example, 20,000. And because of the issue we have in the first day of listing, 20,000 withdrawal will become 40,000 to 60,000 that sent to Bkey exchange without me like extra. If we don't do the maximum withdrawal in the beginning, the result will be way much more dangerous than where we are right now. So if you see that we're doing something, like for example, put a cap on the withdrawal, the purpose of what we're doing to make sure that we protect you, the token holder. Maybe you can think that it's nonsense to put a maximum withdrawal. Yes, if you think just for yourself, it's nonsense. But for TriipMiles, we have a responsible for more than 200,000 users. And we have to think for everyone. We have to think not just for ourselves, but for you, for the security. And we really appreciate a lot of member has been really helpful by patiently even support for the team. So for us, if you saw something that we make a decision, It's because there is a bigger reason behind. So should TriipMiles change the way you do the withdrawal instead of escrow wallet like this? If not, any reason? I just answered in the previous questions. If we don't build the escrow wallet system, in the first day of listing, 100,000 of spammers has already took so many TriipMiles and sells straight on the big key market. So right now, some of you can see that the TriipMiles is about 0.04, right? If we don't do what we do now, it's already like 0.000001. And yes, we will certainly change the way we do the withdrawal market after we upgrade another feature. So right now, when you do the withdrawal process, you'll be able to, we will send through your email an OTP message, which means you have to type in the number that we send to your email system. After the next update, we would like to input your phone number. So every time you do a withdrawal, it will send an OTP to SMS to your phone, so that we'll be able to make sure that you are a real request. And one, we'll be able to upgrade that. You don't have to pass to the escrow wallet anymore, but we go straight to the exchange. But also, I have to explain that there was so many user has been entered the wrong address. I don't know why, but we have put very clear in the address, wallet address form, that you have to check your address, wallet address many times. You only need to do so once. But there's a lot of people, like some of you are very experienced blockchain user, but many of our users are non-blockchain user. So we are converting new user who don't know blockchains to learn the blockchains. And that's why they make mistakes by entering the wrong wallet address. So if we don't do the escrow wallet, if they press that button, the token is gone forever. There's no way we'll be able to recover. But because we know that a lot of our users are non-experienced blockchain user, that's why we build these features to help these people in case they enter the wrong wallet address. Okay, there's another questions. Okay. Any plan to put more cryptocurrency or fiat to Trip to pay for travel? So right now, definitely the first thing is you will be able to use your credit card. You can be able to pay from your credit card to pay for travel platform on Trip. So you'll be able to use your credit card for accommodations, be able to pay for tour. And for inside for more cryptocurrency, I think the first thing we will integrate is allow user from the Bkey platform to use the Bkey token to pay for the accommodations and for the tour. And this is why we have a very close working relationship with Bkey, that will be able to help Bkey user with the Bkey token to be able to pay. And of course, after Bkey token, we can open to Tomo token, to USDT, to Binance token, to a lot more token. But for us, we have to take like slow step, because every time people make a transactions, if it's a wrong wallet address, everything is gone. And that's why for blockchain technology, it took a lot more time for our engineer to verify a system. So for example, if you build a traditional software system, you can press a button to commit the code, and then it goes there. It's anything wrong, you can edit the code. But with blockchains, once you submit the code, you cannot edit the code anymore. You have to write another code to override it. And by the time you write something new, it's already there, and it creates a lot of problem, right? Tomo is flying high now. Will be Tomo DEX 16. Yes, we have submitted our application form to be listed on TomoDex. But right now, we want to focus this 3 months, July, August, September, to working with big keys to solve a lot of challenges. And after that, TomoDex will definitely in our plan. But I would like to share also that Tomo is flying. And the funny thing is people only remember time when a token or a coin is flying. Just 4 or 5 months ago, Tomo is not flying. Tomo is at 10 cents. And everybody in the community were yelling like, why is it going that way? And then 4 months later, Tomo is flying. And people just keep forgetting for any coin token or any project tokens, they will go up, they will go down. We have been in this industry long enough, so we don't follow the trend. It go up because there's more demand, it go down because there's more seller. That's nothing we have to worry about it. What go up will go down, and what go down will go up, that's for sure. But the only key is, are you patient enough? So for a lot of people in the past, if they buy Tomo token 4 months ago, when it's at 10 cents, and then it dropped to 9 cents, and if they were scared, they would just sell all of their Tomo. And now, after 4 months, from 10 cents, it go up to 80 cents. Will you regret that you sell so early, right? So for us, we would like to advise, if you have spare money and you don't have any plan to do anything with that money in the next 6 months. So for example, if you make $1,000 or you make $100, you can keep $10. You can buy it now, you can forget. And make sure with you that in the next 6 months, the price of TriipMiles will go up, because we have a lot of features that coming up. We have a lot of partnership that we haven't told you yet that will be able to generate a lot more demand. And at Trips, we don't follow by selling the news. We're a big partnership, and then that's it. We focus on generating real demand for the TriipMiles token. We want to focus on feature where people need to buy the TriipMiles token, so they'll be able to access this feature. And this feature is so good. So for example, one thing, everybody know about Agoda, right? So for Agoda, if you book a room at $100, but if you use TriipMiles token, instead of paying $100, you only pay $95. So you save 5%. Because of the 5%, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people will want to save that 5%. They will want to use TriipMiles token, even though they don't care about blockchains. They just know that if they buy TriipMiles token, it's 5% cheaper. That's how we want to grow the demand of Trip. Okay, are there any plan to partner with Indonesia in the near future? Consider that Indonesia is a tourist country, one of which is Bali and Lombok. So I'd like to share that we have inventory for own hotel in Indonesia. We have inventory for own tour company in Indonesia. So rest assured that after October, you will be able to book travel in Indonesia, Bali, Lombok, like any other country. But what we want to need to partner, we want to give our software for tour company in Indonesia. So that is our plan. And if you go on TriipMiles.com and you're gonna click, maybe, let me share a screen for you to see. Okay, so let me share the screen. Okay, I hope that you are looking at the screen. So you go to TriipMiles token, TriipMiles.com, and you can go down. So you can see at this very first video. So this lady is from Worldwide Travel Cruise. And we have, through this, we have a lot of users. and you can see it's right here. Miss Putu Sari Pitanatri is from the Tourism Ministry of Indonesia. They have known about trip protocols 1 year ago when we present at the Pata Travel March. And they say, and Miss Putu say that TriipMiles and the trip protocol is exactly what Indonesia need to save the local travel industry. So for us, we already have made all of this connection with Tourism Ministry of Indonesia. It's just that once we have the product ready, we just pass this product to the market. So no worry, we will be there for sure. Okay, another question about the pandemic. How are you going to persist with this project with the current pandemic conditions? Making tour travel is very unlikely at this time. So I would like to share with you that in Vietnam, we have 95-day virus-free. And people in Vietnam are travel like normal. People in Taiwan is travel like normal. So there are countries who are going crazy, like America, like India. But there are countries who are virus-free. And between the countries who are virus-free, they are creating what they call the flying corridor, which means between Vietnam and Taiwan, they are allowed travelers to go between Vietnam and Taiwan. So right now, we have a lot of travel. We have 100 million populations in Vietnam, and people are traveling, and they are going to use the Trip platform. 100 million people. Right now in the world, there's not enough, even 50 million blockchain users. So if imagine we would focus and we make sure that we win the Vietnam market with 100 million populations, there's a lot of demand for TriipMiles right now. So rest assured that with the current pandemic conditions, it's just a temporary. And I would like to remind one more time, the pandemic is the perfect time to make sure to test our capability to survive. If for example, right, it's really hard for Trip, it's really hard for every other travel company. It's hard for the tour company, it's hard for the other travel startup technology company, even for Airbnb. Airbnb is going crazy and they have the hardest time in their life. And also it proved that if you build a travel platform that you don't build on the blockchain system, you don't give the token, the power to the people, that platform is not sustainable. Right now, our Trip team, I myself can be here to talk to you because we make a move to blockchain 2 years ago. If we don't switch to the blockchain platform 2 years ago, right now, Trip is completely die. We will not have a token for you to trade at all. Okay, that's a questions. What motivated you work so hard for a year? Also sacrifice a lot so far. I want to be like you. This is a little bit personal. If you have time, I would like to share that. So for me, right, I was working in 12 years ago when I was a student in Singapore. So I somehow be able to attend a class to learn how to do internet business. And with this class, I started to build online forum. So online forum, which means for people to exchange design some things. So somehow I built a community. Within 18 months, it grew to 500,000 users. That's a lot for a second-year student. It was like, so I was making a good community, and every week I send a newsletter to the community, a personalized newsletter, like for example, like, dear Jones, how is your week? I know last week is very tough for you, And I would like to share the story of Rocky, and I hope this story will help you to have a better weeks. So I sent that letter to 500,000 people, and to my surprise, there are more than 5,000 people reply, and a lot of them say, "How do you know that last week is tough for me? Thanks a lot for the letter. It's helped me keep going." So I was like, "Oh my God, I just sent an email, and then people think that it's motivated for them." But out of all the email, there's one email after 12 years, I still remember until today. So there's a guy, he said that, "Hey, thank you for the email. And because of your story, because of your email, I make a decision. I make a decision to leave." I was like, "Why?" And the guy said that I just committing suicide. So he was a student, study and working at the same time. And the pressure was so tough for him, he committed suicide. Luckily, people saved him. But because of a random email I sent to 500,000 people, it saved one life. So that was the moment I realized that if you are a teacher, you can have 60 people a year, 60 students. But if you build an internet platform, you'll be able to have a lot more people. So that's how I started my journey 12 years ago. I built ebook apps, I built women community, I built mobile games. And for me, the biggest value is to build something that great value for the rest of everyone. So that's why in the last 6 years, when in 2014, we tried to raise funds for Trip, nobody invests, people leave. So that's the first time. But I still have a lot of like tour guides around the world that email to Trip and say, "Hey, we like your platform." That's why we keep fighting. So in the last 6 years, there was so many times we tried to give up, but we don't. And because we still see that there are users who really using our platform. We have been through the crypto winter in 2017. We tried to raise an ICO in the crypto winter when Bitcoin price crashed. We didn't raise much, and it's crazy, it's stupid of what we do. We didn't give up. We're still here. And right now, we are in the so-called the travel nuclear winter. But we're still here. We're still around. And why we're still here? Because we have you guys. Because when we share that, hey, we're going to do an AMA, there are people who actually sign up, and there are you here to put questions about Trip. That's why we work so hard. We work so hard for all of this thing. And we truly believe that if you build a token for the travel industry, you put it in the hand of 1.2 billion travelers out there in the world, it's going to be great for the community, for the travel industry. But again, travel is a 4,000-year industry. It's one of the world's oldest and the world's biggest travel industry. So in order to change that industry, 6 years of Trip is nothing. We were looking at 10 more years. But if we start today, imagine in the next 10 years, how much we're going to grow 100 times. Bitcoin took 11 years from 0 to 9,000. So imagine the next 10 years with Trip, we continue to do, how much we will be able to raise the value of TriipMiles token, right? 9,000 times. What kind of jobs that give you 9,000 times return in 10 years? What kind of banks gonna give you the interest of 9,000 times in 11 years? None. And that's why we're still here. We believe in blockchain. We believe in you guys. So do you plan to recruit people who are expert in the blockchains as your team? Well, obviously, talent is always the biggest secret, the biggest strength for Trip. If we have experts who believe in the blockchain industry and who believe in the TriipMiles token, we always want to recruit. So to some people, and I think the most of the interesting thing is, for example, we have recently we have like a data scientist who are a professor, a graduate from France University. So he joined our team, and obviously we not be able to pay a professor from France to join our team, but he agreed to take his salary in the form of TriipMiles token because he believed in the future of the token and the blockchain ecosystem. So yes, we always recruit people who are expert in this blockchain system. The prop team is starting to dump in the market because of the airdropper. Are you sure team will have high value? Yes, very, 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 very sure. There are 1.2 billion traveler, and this 1.2 billion traveler, they want something cheap price. If the room is $100 and you pay with TriipMiles is 95, then obviously people will use TriipMiles to buy, no question asked. And I also like to remind with you, TIIM price or Bitcoin price will go down. Bitcoin is 9,100 now. Last year, Bitcoin is 2,000. There was a time it go down, even down than that. So where are you? We were there. We were there when we raised our ICO. The Ethereum were 850. 850. And right now, Ethereum price is 200. So during with the ICO, we lost 1/4 of all the money we raised. It doesn't matter. If you build a project, blockchain project, based on the price of the token, when it go down, you jump. I jump, but but for us, we don't care. We believe very strong that we are the pioneer with the first, and we still the biggest blockchain in travel project in the world right now. Whatever price is happening right now is nothing. If you zoom out of Bitcoin, right? From 10 years, Bitcoin starting at 0, and right now it's 9,000 is right here. But in between, it goes to 20,000, it drops to 2,000, and then it go up and they go down. It go up and it go down. So what you see is a small fraction of trip, but I always see a 5 year, 10 more year of TriipMiles. The whole team is not working for the price of TriipMiles at 0.002. We are working to make sure that the TriipMiles price can go $9,000 like Bitcoins. That's why we work. Okay, I shared in the previous question. We will commit to focus working with Biki closely in the next 3 months. Only after 3 months, we will considering for other listing. And where we're listing, we will want to choose based on the market that we'll be able to expand. So we love to work with Biki because we don't know about China market. Biki help us to understand China markets. And we will consider other exchange where we will be able to extend to the new markets where we don't have the present, or we don't know anything about the market. So yes, definitely in the next 3 months, that's for sure. Okay. Okay. So far, if there's nobody else have questions, I would like to close. It's nearly an hour already, and I think to a lot of people in Asia, it's already night time. So I would like to thank everyone for joining this AMA. Your questions, your presence is the reason why we're still fighting. We make mistake on the big key listing with our system, and we admit we're stupid. but we're still here with you. We organize this AMA so we understand more about you, and we would like you to understand more about us and how we work. We make mistakes, but we never gave up. Rest assured that if you have your token, it's still there. I will work to make sure that every single token out there is belong to you. It's gonna go back to you. It either go back to your wallet or it go to BKey. And I will be here in the next 5 years to make sure that the price of whatever token of TriipMiles you are holding will go up. And how do we do that? By building a great product that real people will use it. And how do we make real people use it? Everything on Trip platform will be cheaper compared to other platforms. That's the only way that people will use Trip platform. So thanks a lot again, and good night. I would love to see more and more from you in the future. And like I say, don't look at right now of TriipMiles. Look at 5 years, because the moment Satoshi created Bitcoin, he will never ever think about the price Bitcoin going to 9,000. What he thinks is that he creating a new tool for humankind to make sure that we have a decentralized financial system. And why Bitcoin price is 9,000? It's not because of people buy and sell. It's because in the last 11 years, every single second, the Bitcoin system worked as designed from the beginning. No matter what happened around the world, there are wars, there are pandemic, there are people, there are climate change. It doesn't matter. The Bitcoin system run second by second. So that's our goal, to build a decentralized travel system. We don't want to depend on any government. We want to make sure in the next 10 years, whether I'm here or not, the TriipMiles, the platform is still running. Okay, I would like to answer the last question for Ravi. Your withdrawal token, when it will come? And like I said, it will come. And if it's not coming, I will fight for you to give you double, right? Give us time from now until 28th of July so we can upgrade our system. And I'd like to explain to you one more time why it's difficult to build the withdrawal system. Because every time you send something, it goes to 150 random servers across the world. It's very different from how you use Zoom, how you use Facebook on your normal application form. The decentralized system is way harder when it comes to broadcast. Every time you send something, it broadcasts across the world, and then it come back, it finish, then the next transactions. So your token will come, and as you can see, there's the links on TomoScan, which I'm gonna open right now for you to see with your eye. So as you can see, you can go to scan.tomochange, right? And when you go here, you will be able to see the TriipMiles token and all of the transactions happening. So this is the wallet that we are holding. So you can see it right now. 7 minutes ago, we are sending from Trip app to the BK exchange, and we are continuously working like this. And you can see that there are tons of transactions happening already. So if you go here and you input in a search box your BK wallet address, you press a search. If it be able to see your transaction here, which means it's a successful. If not, just wait. Okay, so thank you and good night to everyone. And to all the people who will not be able to join this AMA, you'll be able to see this AMAs in the links later we upload on YouTube. Thanks a lot and goodbye.